Winning the lottery is supposed to be the happiest day of your life. You check the numbers, your heart races, you realize you've just become a millionaire. But for some winners, the celebration barely lasts. Because almost immediately after their win goes public, the lawsuits begin. Friends claim promises were made, strangers claim the ticket was stolen. Family members demand their share. Today, we're looking at real lottery winners who were sued almost immediately after winning and how those legal battles unfolded. Before we jump in, make sure you like this video, subscribe, and hit the bell icon so you never miss any of our videos on what happens when luck strikes. Now let's dive in. Edwin Castro, $2.04 billion. Powerball, California, 2022. Let's start with the biggest jackpot in history. On November 7, 2022, a single ticket sold in Altadena, California won a record-breaking $2.04 billion Powerball jackpot. In February 2023, the California Lottery identified the winner as Edwin Castro, who chose the lump sum option of approximately $997.6 million before federal taxes. After federal taxes, his estimated take-home was around $628 million, since California does not tax lottery winnings. But before the headlines even cooled, a lawsuit was filed. A man named Jose Rivera claimed that he had actually purchased the winning ticket and that it had been stolen from him before the drawing. Rivera alleged that he bought the ticket the day before and that someone else refused to return it after the numbers were drawn. He sued Castro, the California Lottery, and others, seeking the full jackpot. The case gained national attention. However, there was one critical issue. Rivera did not have possession of the physical ticket. Under California law, the person holding the winning ticket is presumed to be the rightful owner. In October 2024, a judge dismissed Rivera's lawsuit against Castro. The court ruled that without the ticket, Rivera could not establish legal ownership. Castro kept the jackpot, but for nearly 2 years, the largest lottery winner in history was tied up in public legal controversy, and that's what happens when billions are involved. Jack Whittaker, $314.9 million, Powerball, West Virginia, 2002. Although not immediate in the same week, lawsuits against Jack Whittaker began very shortly after his win. Whittaker, a construction executive, won $314.9 million in December 2002, one of the largest jackpots at the time. Unlike many winners, Whittaker chose to go extremely public. He posed with oversized checks. He gave interviews. He openly shared his wealth. Almost immediately, he faced legal disputes. He was sued multiple times by individuals claiming he had made verbal promises of money. There were disputes involving employees and acquaintances who said they were owed portions of the winnings. Whittaker also became the target of numerous legal claims connected to theft and alleged financial disputes after publicly carrying large amounts of cash. His openness made him a visible target. Whittaker's case became one of the earliest high-profile examples of how quickly a jackpot can attract legal conflict. The Robinson family, $528.8 million, Powerball, Tennessee, 2016. When John and Lisa Robinson won a share of the $1.586 billion Powerball jackpot in January 2016, specifically $528.8 million split 3 ways, they chose to go public immediately. They posed with the check the very next day. Within weeks, reports surfaced of legal threats and disputes from acquaintances claiming they had prior agreements. While not all of those disputes became formal court cases, the Robinsons publicly acknowledged that going public created financial and legal pressures almost instantly. They later stated that they underestimated how fast the requests, claims, and legal concerns would come. Their case is often cited as a reason many winners now choose anonymity when available. Marie Holmes, $188 million, Powerball, North Carolina, 2015. When Marie Holmes, a single mother from North Carolina, won $188 million in 2015, she chose the lump sum option, worth about $127 million before taxes. After taxes, she received roughly $87 million. Holmes initially spoke about giving back and helping her community. At first, her story was inspirational. She spoke publicly about giving back, helping her family, and supporting her church. But legal trouble began almost immediately, and not from strangers. In 2017, Holmes was sued by her former pastor, Kevin Matthews, of Pleasant Hill Missionary Baptist Church. Matthews alleged that Holmes had promised to fund several community and development projects, including real estate ventures and charitable initiatives, and that she failed to follow through on financial commitments he claimed were agreed upon. The lawsuit sought $10 million in damages. Holmes denied wrongdoing. Court records show the dispute eventually moved toward resolution outside of a prolonged public trial, though exact settlement terms were not fully disclosed in public reporting. But that wasn't the only controversy. Holmes also made headlines for paying millions of dollars in bond money for her boyfriend on multiple occasions, a decision that drew public scrutiny and added additional legal complexity to her post-lottery life. In her case, the lawsuits didn't revolve around ownership of the ticket. They centered around promises, expectations, and relationships that shifted once money entered the picture. Her story illustrates something critical. Sometimes the legal battles don't come from strangers claiming the ticket. They come from people who believe they were promised a piece of the future. Urooj Khan, $1 million lottery win, Illinois, 2012. In a tragic and extreme case, Urooj Khan, who was 46 at the time, won $1 million in an Illinois lottery scratch-off in 2012. Khan, an immigrant from India who owned 3 dry cleaning businesses in Chicago, said he planned to use the money to pay off his bills and mortgage and make a contribution to St. Jude Children's Research Center. Within days of collecting his prize check, he suddenly died. Initially ruled natural causes, his death was later reclassified as a homicide after cyanide poisoning was discovered, allegedly murdered by his wife. A lawsuit followed from his family over the distribution of his estate. The case remains one of the most disturbing post-lottery legal battles in modern history. While this is not a lawsuit over ticket ownership, it underscores how quickly legal proceedings can surround lottery winnings, sometimes within days. Why do lawsuits happen so fast? There are 3 major reasons lawsuits appear immediately after large wins: ownership disputes, someone claims the ticket was theirs; verbal agreement claims, someone alleges they were promised a share; relationship conflicts, family, partners, or acquaintances seek compensation. When jackpots reach hundreds of millions or billions, the stakes are enormous. Even a small percentage of a jackpot can mean life-changing money. That financial pressure drives litigation, and once a winner's name becomes public, they become legally visible. The rise of anonymity. Because of cases like these, many states now allow lottery winners to remain anonymous. Winning through a trust or LLC can reduce exposure and limit immediate legal targeting. In states where anonymity is not allowed, legal teams are often hired before tickets are even claimed. The lesson? Winning is only step 1. Protecting the win is step 2. So here's the question. If you won $500 million tomorrow, would you claim it publicly or quietly through a trust? And would you immediately hire a legal team before telling anyone? Let me know in the comments. If you want more real stories about what actually happens after hitting the jackpot, subscribe to When Luck Strikes.